biggest game, one of the biggest games of the year. FromSoftware's Elden Ring. It's a brand new IP. FromSoftware are the creators of the Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and Sekiro franchise. This is their latest entry in the FromSoftware arsenal. Big open world game. Has a bunch of different classes. Boss fights, getting your ass beat. There's a story there, but I don't think anybody really cares. It's really just about overcoming the obstacles that are in front of you, finding the latest methods to grind those runes, baby. How we feeling about Elden Ring, Jay?
All right, so I would like to first use our platform to apologize after so many years of shitting on Soulsborne games in the community. You and me, T-Bitch, have been making fun of them for the longest, saying that, it's a masochist game. Why does anyone want to play this? But then we both try Sekiro. I mean, you didn't beat it, but, try Sekiro. It's a different type of game, but that kind of had me understand more, like, why people play these type of games. And then Elden Ring came out, and I was like, well, if it's going to be more like Sekiro, then, I'm all for it. But, it's more like a traditional Souls game. It's just open world. And I was like, oh no, like, all right, I have no clue what I'm doing. We have all these classes, and what do I pick? What do I do? And the community has been like super freaking helpful. But there's another side of the community that hates a certain class, and we'll get to that later. But overall, like, I am very, very like surprised at how much I love this game. This game is something that I have not put down since the game came out. I haven't played Horizon since. I haven't played Dying Light 2. I haven't played Sifu. I haven't played anything.
Did you just go on vacation?
Yeah, and I was still thinking
fraud.
about
You did put it down.
But I was still, okay, you gotta be a technical. I had to, okay? I had to.
Let me see your trophy.
I went away. You can look at my hours, see the bosses I beat, Luke.
You can beat a boss.
Yeah, did you beat a boss yet? But anywho, yeah, like the entire GI is playing this game. Literally, like everybody is playing. Like
Except
nobody
Flock.
played. Yeah, except Flock, because Flock is frauding in the chat like he's playing. But yeah,
he's still trying to beat the spider boss from Final Fantasy VII remake demo.
He's still trying to
intro. He's still trying to beat that boss.
True. He's like, I don't care about the game, I just got the money. but yeah, everybody except Flock, Ethos and Anon were the only ones who like Soulsborne games before this game came out. Like, and then Siggy got 150 hours into the game. Like, this man is jamming the freaking game. Like,
hating the most too. That's the crazy part. He was the first one was like, I don't get it. I don't get this game. I don't get it. He got
right. Yeah, he got upset the first day because he wasn't reading anything, but he quickly got into it, like, because everybody, like, in our Discord, we just been sharing things, saying, here's where you go to get this. Like, we just been talking back and forth, helping each other be bosses. Like, this game is, I think this, it's super early. We're only in March, and I'm already, like, ready to call this game, game of the year. Like, it's that good. I didn't realize, like, how much depth that this game has. Like, you can go through, just the standard, 5 bosses or whatever, but it's so much to freaking explore. It's so much to do. It's so many items that you can get. It's so many ways that you can craft your character. Literally, like, one of the only, downfalls that I have about this game, and, especially the PC version, is when you get to a different part of the map, like, it does stutter a lot, and it's still doing it to this day. So I hope that, that they fix that optimization wise. And then the servers are still, kind of whack. Like, we've been seeing the weird glitches, like with the horses, getting stuck, and people trying to get into your game, but then they lag out, people invading your game and getting lagged out. So those are, some minor things, but still overall that hasn't deterred, like, the love that I have for this game. Like, I just want to keep playing. Like, we're literally playing right before we started this podcast, and I can't wait to get back going. Like, this game is just that good, and minus the people that hate mages and what we do, because we're playing toddler and we're playing on easy mode. But like,
and what we do, like, it's some type of brotherhood.
Yeah, no.
The brotherhood of magic. All right, Asta, chill out.
We in the clan, bro. We in the clan.
JG's a black bull. Oh shit!
I got the hoods on and everything.
Yeah. No. I got initiated. Into the gang.
They call y'all the Tethering clan of the Tethering.
Yeah, we TRG, baby.
I'm not a part of that clan. I got my own build, bro. I got my own build.
Whatever. I heard you was hating because you didn't want to look up stuff. Yeah, you didn't want to.
Absolutely. I'm not reading shit. I'm playing the fucking game, bro. I do not care. I do not care that much, and I never will care that much.
Whatever.
Also,
you level 90 now, so I ain't trying to hear it.
I just. That's right. I play my games. Thank you for confirming, nigga. What's it? Listen, I disagree. I ain't apologizing to From Software fans. I still think them niggas is weird, bro.
You need to, bro. No, you need to.
No. Let me tell you why. First of all, that would imply I need to apologize for Sekiro as well, because regardless if I beat it or not, I still like the game. Am I supposed to apologize for that too? I don't like Dark Souls, and I probably never will. And I'm gonna tell you why. Elden Ring is not Dark Souls. Yeah, sure, some of the blueprint is there, but with Dark Souls, it's like you have to bash your head against the wall and play the game the way they want you to. I mean, you have to follow a certain path. With this game, half the fun is exploring the world. Like, the level design in this game is amazing. Dark Souls level design did not interest me. This shit, everywhere I go, it all looks different. There's constantly new enemies being introduced with unique character designs that keep you on your toes. There's so many different ways you can play and customize your character. And then once again, if I get stuck, I don't have to sit there and bang my head against the fucking wall. And that's what I hated about Dark Souls. And it forces you to play a specific way. This way, the way, like, I have a mage build, but he's an assassin mage.
Oh,
ironically, I've created the Assassin's Creed game in my own head that Ubisoft won't make. Like, and like people are like, yo, this is low-key. Like, first of all, I'm playing it stealthy. I'm stabbing everybody in the back, at least the minions or whatever. But the difference is, like, I have like a Wolverine claw and like a dagger, so I fight up close too as well. Like, I don't rely on my magic. I got a glass cannon, and my step back game is fucking crazy. So I'm not one of the mages that didn't learn how to play the game. So I'm not in the fucking Brotherhood, bro. It's a little bit more of a balanced build. Well, not really, because it's straight offense. But yeah, that's the main thing that I love about it. I don't got to bang my head against the wall. I can just go explore, see what else is going on in the world, level up, come back when I'm ready. Versus Dark Souls is like, you need to do this now. It's very rigid, and this game is not rigid, and it benefits from it. What about you though, Ethos?
I mean, I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the reason you didn't like Dark Souls, and you too, JG, was I thought your main complaint was like there was stamina, and you'd make fun of it saying all you do is dodge. You just roll, hit, roll, hit, roll, hit. Is that like, I mean, it's still there. It's still the same thing, but is that like different because of the open world now?
Yeah,
too?
the stealth mechanics are a little bit more cleaner though in this game compared to the previous.
You couldn't crouch in Dark Souls. You could never crouch. That was something they brought over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I've created the Assassin's Creed game in my head that I wanted, because like it does work for the most part, like hiding in the bushes and stuff like that, and it's a viable way to play the game. It's not just something that's there.
It's kind of crazy how
you're on point, Ethos. Yeah, I didn't like that, and I also didn't like.
Does the stamina thing bother you anymore now? Like, does it? No, I remember that's what you hated. Does it even bother you at this point?
No, not it. No, it really doesn't as much anymore. I think mainly because like I've forced myself to get used to it, and once I got used to it, like I barely even noticed that it's there.
And you can
like the story. Yeah, and you can boost it. Like in the story and the lore, like for the Dark Souls games, I didn't understand what was going on. And you know, granted, I didn't play it, but I'm just watching other people play. I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, you're just running around facing these big ass bosses and just dodge rolling. And still, like, you know, that's a small complaint of mine, you know, still with this game, because I would rather them, you know, have a deflect system still, because I think that Sekiro like really innovated with that.
I think Sekiro's system is still superior. I think even compared to Elden Ring, I think the parry in this game is ass. Like, I just do not like it. I'd rather have Sekiro's parry system.
I got used to it, but yeah, I'll love the deflect system. But go ahead, sorry.
No, you're good. This is game of the year, like, no doubt. I don't think there's anything that could come out this year. If I was I said it jokingly yesterday, but I was telling a friend, I was like, don't be surprised if God of War or some other of these like PlayStation games or whatever else is left for the rest of the year, like in Q4, that like are like high priority, if they like push it into 2020, the next, what was it, 2023? Jokingly, like, I honestly just don't think anything else that comes out this year is going to remotely touch this. I think a lot of people were surprised, because I remember how when we were looking back at the Game Awards, like I kept saying like Elden Ring is going to get most anticipated, and it got it 2 years in a row, and people were like, how the fuck is this game getting like this like anticipation award like twice? Like, this is insane. Like, why is the hype so insane for this game? And now that the game's come out, and it's like, I'd say it has surpassed its hype. Like, it was hype, don't get me wrong, but like I feel like a lot of people were surprised by how positive it was received. Like, people were, I was surprised too. I thought the game was gonna get like, I was like, this game's gonna probably be for me like a 9, maybe an 8. Like, you know, like I think I might like it, but in other areas I don't think. But like, to be where like where we are now, where I'm in the same boat as Siggy, where it was just like I knew I was screwed the moment like I went to sleep and I dreamed about Elden Ring, and I woke up and that was the only thing I was thinking about the next day was I wanted to play Elden Ring. And that kind of cemented for me. I was like, I haven't felt this way about a game in a very long time, where a game just like, it's just on the back of my head, like no matter what I'm doing, I'm thinking about it, like, oh, I should try this type of shit when I get home. Or if I see an article or something like that, like I tag it and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try this or look for this item. I'd say is some people have been trying to like say that it's like oh, what happened to all the open world fatigue, and I think like that's very disingenuous, because the reason why people had open world fatigue was because a lot of open world games had that Ubisoft formula, which we were getting sick and tired of. This game does not have that formula at all. It has a way different style of
also the level design is better. There's a lot to see.
Yeah, and the level design is god tier and stuff like that. So I feel like when you add all these things together, that's why no one is having fatigue playing this, even though it's an open world game. Don't get me wrong, like people are tired of it, but it's because this game mixed up the formula so much. That's what made it refreshing and reinvigorating. So like, I know some people try to dismiss it as, oh, it's just Dark Souls with an open world. Yeah, I mean, you could say that about like every other game. Oh, it's just this with something new. But that's like how some of the greatest games are built. They're built off of previous blocks of other successful games or of other successful like mechanics, and then they add their own twist to it. And for Dark Souls, it literally was just open world. And I think what you said, TVH, is really important. I think this is why I think so many people have gotten it that hated Dark Souls or never got into it, is because of that open world aspect, is because they have designed the game in a way where it reduces the stress of the game, because you have so many options. Yeah, there's definitely like skill check blocks where there's like, you have to kill this certain boss in order for you to get forward in the story, but like the in between of just running around and just doing whatever you want and not having like Ubisoft level 1,000 like little pings and little quest icons appearing and stuff like that, and it just feeling like this like world where I look somewhere and I just go there and there's actually something there. It's not like I walk somewhere and there's nothing to do. Like, I've always found something really cool is like really like stunning. Like I've never played an open world game like this in a long time, where it was just like I just went off the beaten path. I say since Witcher, I haven't done something like this where I just went off somewhere randomly and I was just rewarded with finding cool stuff as a result of doing that. So yeah, up to them. It's my game of the year, no doubt.
You know what? I had this epiphany last night. You know what? Why I think it overshot the hype and like it's even more hyped. I think the reason is it brought back an element of gaming we haven't seen in a while, and it's mainly because of the internet to blame. Of like, you remember when like we were kids and like, I don't know, like with Pokemon Red and Blue, like you remember like Masingo was like a fucking mystery that you had to learn on the playground, and it's like, oh, you had to go here and go up and down the water, like you couldn't just watch a walkthrough. Like It was like a word of mouth type of thing. I think Elden Ring has kind of brought back that
no
word
one knows
of mouth.
how to do it.
Because the game is so large in scope, you can't just go on YouTube and watch somebody's walkthrough and get the definitive build. There's so much content here. It's brought back that word of mouth element. So I catch myself watching clips on YouTube and Twitch. I'm seeing all these different amazing spells. I'm constantly seeing new content. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know I could do that. It inspires me to want to play the game more, knowing that maybe one day I could find that type of thing. So it's like, I think it's brought back kind of that 90s, early 2000s word of mouth type of vibe. It's brought mystery back to gaming, and a lot of people don't even realize that they missed that because they grew up in the 360 and forward era where the internet was already a thing, and they don't even know. I had tweeted about that. I was like, yo, imagine if like when Trunks pulled up and like somebody had it in the fucking thumbnail that why he was there is because the androids and cells, like it would ruin the fucking show. And I mean, it ruins a lot of shows nowadays with YouTube, these fucking anime YouTubers and TV people. Mystery, too much of something is never a good thing. You need a little bit of mystery, and I think Elden Ring has a lot of mystery to it. And it's like, oh, what's around the corner, bro? I walked in a cave and a big ass polar bear fucking just destroyed me, yo. And the shit was funny at first, and then it's like, all right, let me sit up in the chair and let me start throwing hands. That's the thing too. There's a lot of funny deaths too. Like I feel like that's the thing with Dark Souls had, like that stress, like upsetting thing. It was like a lot of the old school stuff has been like that sort of like anger-inducing death, but this has been like literally just like I'll just be minding my own. It's literally like fuck around and find out simulator, where like you just fuck around, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna see what's over here, and you find out, and it's like usually like something just insane happens out of nowhere. Like the dragon is literally the perfect example of just surprise mechanics, where like it doesn't tell you this is gonna happen. You have no indication this dragon is even gonna appear in this part. You're just minding your own business, just look at what are they doing over? I mean, I saw Chaos, you guys all did the exact same thing. You see these dudes praying at a bonfire, you're like, oh, what's over here? This caught my eye. You walk over there, and next thing you know, this big ass dragon just subverts your entire expectation and turns into a boss fight, which I think is awesome. Yeah, I think the only game that could possibly compete with it for gaming, because I think it is game of the year probably, like it's weird to say that this early, is maybe Starfield, but the thing is we haven't seen any gameplay.
Okay, so this is what I don't understand. I've seen multiple people have this take. How do we know Starfield.
And that's what I'm saying. That's
like,
what,
how do we know?
We're going off the Bethesda pedigree. Like it's 50-50 and we don't really know. That's the only one I can think of though.
I would say like this Elden Ring feels like Skyrim. I remember when Skyrim first came out. The exact thing you're talking about, that mystery aspect, was how Skyrim felt. There was just so much cool random stuff in Skyrim that people just were discovering in real time and like posting cool little clips on Twitter about it and being like, yo, this game's incredible. It's huge. I've never played an open world game this big before. There's so many, like, you can run off. You don't even have to follow the main story. You can run off and go left and go all the way to the left side of the map. Like, that type of feeling is the same thing I'm getting here, but it's like Starfield is just like, don't get me wrong, I'm excited because I'm like you. I love space. I love Mass Effect. So I'm definitely excited from that level, like, to see what this is. But I just don't even know what this thing is. Yeah. Like, I don't know gameplay wise. Like,
no, I agree.
Is it going to be fought in space?
That's why I said
it's
50-50.
Going to be something completely different. Yeah,
you don't really know.
That's why I'm not even gonna like hype myself, because I feel like if I try to hype myself thinking that like Starfield could touch Elden Ring and then we see gameplay of it and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to mentally put myself like, because I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be hard for anything in my opinion to like mentally get there where like I'm as excited for it as I was for Elden Ring. But like, I don't know. I'd rather just like not think that anything else for the rest of the year is going to touch this, and like maybe not for the next couple of years, and then like if something comes out and it does, that will be like amazing to feel, rather than like setting my expectations and being like every game from this point forward needs to follow this formula. And that's kind of like what I did. I remember Anon told this to me. It's kind of the same thing what me and Anon were talking about with Witcher when we played it and we beat it, and we was like, I remember Anon says all the time, he's like, Witcher 3 is game of the year until something else comes out. That trops this for me, in my opinion. And so like I feel like it's the same thing with Elden Ring, where it's just like,
it's a cultural moment.
Like, yeah, this shit is like really a gaming cultural like milestone. I don't think like, and we won't have something like this, I don't feel, for like another couple of years that like really changes like the I don't know, I just felt like everything just shifted after Elden Ring came out. Like, no shade to Horizon, like, don't get me wrong, like Horizon did great, it sold a lot, it reviewed well, it's a great game from what I've heard. I haven't played it yet, but I'm willing to give people that I believe them when they tell me that. But at the end of the day, it's like this game just like out of nowhere just dropped and just bam, just became the center of like attention like immediately. And it's still doing that like 2 weeks later, probably for a whole month, it's still going to be the center of attention. And I think that's like the thing when we talk about like game of the year. We get concerned about games that come out like this early in the year, and you think like, oh, probably by like fall people will forget about it. But I don't know, I feel like this is a game that like people are never gonna forget about. This kind of like how people still talk about like Breath of the Wild and Witcher, whatever.
I don't know what they did compared to like the Dark Souls series, but for some reason, like, even though there's moments where I've gotten stuck and like a little frustrated, there was never a moment where I wanted to quit. Like I never felt like I got cheated by any boss
I gotta
fight.
get back to it.
Like when I first pulled up on Godric and Margit or whatever, like I was like, once I calmed down and got over the fact of how big they were, their patterns were very easy to pick up.
Yes,
I was honestly struggling with them because I was under leveled. I just wasn't doing a lot of damage. But and that goes for like all the mini bosses too. Like once I calmed down, like I never felt like I was getting cheated in this game. It was just like, all right, I actually felt like, let me just get good basically and fucking relax.
That's it for you though, T-Base.
That's
like,
get good.
This is the formula. Yeah, that's
you understand what get good is. That is what get good is. That's when they tell you that shit that irritates people. Like that is what you're describing. That is what they mean. Getting good is like calming down and starting to like get into a flow where you feel like I call it like what is it? Ultra Instinct Goku. And all of a sudden, like everything to you, like I can't describe. Like I did it in Sekiro too. Like it happened.
I felt the same way with Sekiro though. I just never felt that way with Dark Souls. I think it's because you get more tools. That's one of the reasons that's one of the reasons I like Sekiro too. It was the verticality, the speed, the countering system. You had more tools, and it's like, all right, this shit is my fault basically.
Yeah, like Sekiro gives you this tool box and it says, hey, use these tools to figure out like the best way to become this like master shinobi. And this game is just like, it's similar to Dark Souls, but I feel like same thing, like has magic, has leveling up and stuff like that. But I think it's just like the pacing by which you like go and you fight a boss on your own terms. Like when you get into the arena, yeah, like you're fighting the boss's battle. Like you're not playing your own game, you're playing the boss's game. But like the way, like the time at which you approach him, you're like, okay, I feel comfortable, I feel like safe and good, and I feel confident enough I can beat him now. That's like your own decision. And I think that's like the difference now, like between Elden Ring, that is like what you said, like I can walk away. I don't have to stare at like Margaret if I'm getting my butt beat by him twin times. Like I can walk off, I can go to like 3 different regions before I have to. Like eventually you have to beat him, but like, you know, there's other things that can calm me down, or I describe it as which is genius, the mini bosses that you're talking about, right? Like you notice like in the base area, right, you fight a boss bunch of those bosses in the caves, and they're pretty easy. Like at first, like you'll be freaking out initially, but you'll beat them probably first, second time, like really fast. And those are those like little confident boosters. And if you actually, I highly recommend it. It's just like my dev brain working. If you go to Margit and even Godric and you go to some of the early bosses, like look at their attack patterns, you might notice they're sharing the exact same attack patterns. Like the game is actually like subconsciously, like you're subconsciously learning their attack pattern before you go against the actual boss the first time. And I've noticed this throughout Elden Ring is like there's multiple times where I'll go up against a boss the first time that I've never seen before. This is like 50 hours in, and somehow I still can predict his attack patterns for the most part because I'm seeing similar like patterns. And I think this has to do with like there's like 80 bosses in the game, so of course they're reusing certain things, but like that little like get good pattern is like now like fully working in my brain, and now I can like kind of predict how they're gonna move and stuff like that. That's how you know, like you understand how the game works and you're good at it. So
it also turns into like muscle memory. Then at that point, you're like, all right, like I've seen this before. I know exactly when to dodge, when to attack. Like that's how it is. Yeah, it's just pattern repetition.
That delay shit too, like you know how like Godric does that shit, right? That's the thing that you run
just
into.
Holds
like,
and
you think Margit is like he's more fast paced, so then you're like, oh yeah, just gonna spam the dodge button. Then you go against Godric, and Godric like purposely delays his attacks before he slams on you, and that teaches you like I can't just spam the dodge button. I have to be like actually thoughtful about when's the right time to dodge. And
I'm not gonna lie, man. I still panic roll because I be scared of shit, bro.
I be
getting jump scared, bro.
Look,
like this game is full of jump scares, dog.
One time the boss does a combo to me that I didn't predict it. Don't know. I just spammed the dodge button.
I'm like, oh my god!
I actually don't panic roll that much because I don't use a shield. I have to be like I have to roll good. Like, and I figured out pretty quickly.
You don't have to panic roll. You just hold the shield up, and usually you can like, okay, I'll survive this. Like you'll take.
I figured out a lot of the bosses they do a lot of fakes, and like once you understand that, just fucking relax and then roll, and you'll beat them pretty easily.
Also, big bosses just run into their legs. It's
true.
Yeah, it's true.
The formula has always been for me for all these games is if I go into a room and I fight a boss, the bigger the boss, the easier it usually is. If it's a massive boss, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be easy. Then if I see like a humanoid boss that's like my height, I'm like, oh shit, this motherfucker's gonna beat my ass. And
right? He's your level, so you gotta fight him straight up.
Like,
but going back to what you said though, Ethos, and you two bitch about Starfield, I think that your philosophy, Ethos, is probably like I think that's the best way to go through like what your expectations are going to be for Starfield or any other game that might come out this year. Like, you know what Elden Ring is now. You know that you love it. You know that it's, everybody else loves it. Like, it's one of the most hyped games out right now. Everybody's playing it, even people that have never played a Dark Souls game before. So obviously, like they've done something good. Like they pretty much done the impossible, because like so many people jumped into this game, after seeing other people play. They're like, wait, this is a Souls game? Like, I didn't know it was going to be open world. I didn't know this was going to be in here. I didn't know that was going to be in here. I didn't know you can build a character like that. Like, it's so many things in this game that have just, sparked people's interest, and they're all playing it now. So like everybody loves it now, and it's going to be extremely tough for any game to compete this year. But it's a possibility that Starfield, if it does come out this year, or another game might be able to compete. But I think like it's just best to just quell your interest, just quell your hype for any other game that possibly might trump this game. And then I think you'll go into playing another game after the hype dies down for Elden Ring with the I would say like a fresher state of mind.
It goes back to the word of mouth thing too. Like when I was streaming the game, the way my brain works is like, I guess because I don't know, I like to just do wild shit. I'm gonna run a knife and I'm gonna run a fucking magic staff. I'm gonna be a manged assassin. Literally everybody in the chat was like, yo, I haven't seen a build like this. This shit is wild. You have no fucking defense. That's right, bitch. I'm dodging, bro. I'm playing a loose cannon. Ezio. So, and people, I'm playing magical Ezio. But like people like enjoyed watching it because they're like, yo, I haven't seen. People are like, yo, what do you call this build? I'm like, are y'all serious right now? Like, what do I call this? Like, I don't know. It's me, nigga. What the fuck? Like, so like just having so many different ways to play the game, and like people saying there's no two ways to play it exactly alike. That's really dope. And then let's go back to the war against mages, Jay. How are we feeling about that? There's a certain segment of the community, and they seem to be coming at your head. They claim they're trolls or whatever. They're mad at you because you're one-shotting bosses. How do you feel about that?
So I want to preface this by saying, like, I didn't even know that mages were in this game. Because like I said, I watched a couple of people play Dark Souls, but I've never gotten into like the lore of Dark Souls. I didn't know that you can build different types of characters, as far as like your stats and how you want to build them and stuff. So I didn't know anything about that. But I was like, you know what? Like, okay, I see this class here. This looks like a mage. All right, let me go ahead and choose it. Like, just like not watching anybody else even start Elden Ring. I was like, okay, let me pick this. And I was like, yo, like it's some dope ass spells in this game. I was like, so all right, I'm just gonna beam everybody. And all of a sudden I found out very quickly that the Dark Souls purists, as we call them, they don't like mages because they feel like it's easy mode. You just hang back, spam your spells and you win. Press one button and win. So I was like, you know what, I'm about to troll them back. I'm about to show them every boss that y'all took 3 hours 5 hours against, and I'm gonna show you just using one button. I'm gonna use this rock sling and I'm gonna win. They got mad, so they really fell for the bait. It's hilarious. But yeah, I found out that like there's a small community. It's not really a large one, but it is a small community of Dark Souls purists. Like, this is not how you play the game. You gotta run up on her with the sword or whatever melee weapon, and that's how you gotta basically take your lumps like everybody else. And I'm like, well, I am, because I'm a freaking glass cannon. Do you see my health bar? I have no health bar. I get one shotted almost every time. At least you can take a few more hits than I can. Like, all right, it's just a different way to play, and it's all in fun. Like, I don't really care, but I just find it hilarious how like some of those people, they just like, I just don't like mages, and it's freaking easy mode. But I'm like, do you see these spells that we can do? Like, if you get somebody in co-op, like, they can help you out. So I don't know why you complain, and make another build, but you can make a mage build too, just like me.
Yeah, I'd actually argue those people aren't even like, I would even argue those people are not Dark Souls purists. I would say they don't even understand Dark Souls, because Dark Souls from the very beginning has always been about playstyle experimentation. The only difference has been this time is mages usually have been mid through the original Dark Souls games, and now that they've been given this huge buff and huge plethora of like spells and capabilities that basically melee has had for a long time, now like, I guess a certain sect is acting like it's crazy. But like, Dark Souls has always been about like funny ways of exploiting bosses and doing stupid stuff. Like, people run around literally like butt naked or doing some stupid build where they can one-shot bosses with like a big hammer. Like, it's the same thing, it's just a different style of doing it. So like, I don't know, that's like goes against the entire like DNA of Dark Souls, is to get mad because people found a cool like play style or something like that to like beat bosses with. I just don't get it. And this is coming from a dude that was running around with a samurai sword doing katana build. I mean, granted, I'm a hybrid now. I'm out here with my little with my Virgil build.
I wouldn't by any means necessary. When I was in the forest and I fought one of them big ass bears, I ran down into one of those fucking caves or whatever, and then like I stayed he got stuck at the entrance. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna beat you. Fuck you.
Ain't no shame, bro.
Ain't no shame about it. Look, Dark Souls has always been about you beat a boss by any means necessary. It has never been about you gotta honor. There's no honor in Dark Souls. There's no honor code. You just beat the shit out of whatever you can, whatever tools you can do it, however ways you can manipulate the game to do it, you do it. That's what's always made Dark Souls fun. Like, it's never been
right.
about that other stuff.
So,
which is also the other thing is people complaining and asking for an easy mode. I'm like, if you played the game, there is like 5 different ways this game is like stupid easy. You could be a mage, like a hardcore mage, and like easy mode a lot of the early game content. You could co-op the game, which makes the game, actually have a partner to help you out. Like, there's so many ways in this game, like Elden Ring. I actually argue and say Elden Ring's not that difficult. Yeah, there's and summons too, spirit summons. There's more than enough tools, and like what you said, there's a tool for everything. So if you want an easy mode, just Google what they are. There's tools in the game that help you make the game easy. There's literally a spirit in the game that literally is a mimic of you. You can summon yourself. If you don't trust him, you can trust yourself. You can summon your own self to help you fight. That's insane. That's never been offered.
Pull a Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is though. It literally is.
If I can't trust nobody, I can trust myself. Can I get an amen?
I was just about to mention that ethos. Like, we're back to this conversation.
Yeah, the secure argument.
Yeah, and then we're screaming about that because it's a new age now. People weren't really saying that with Dark Souls, but now Sekiro came out, more people started playing it. They're like, well, I want to use it because I want it to be accessible.
Yeah, but Sekiro's different because it's like, there's no co-op. You can't get somebody to help you. Like, you're by yourself, but there were tools available that you could like get. Like, you'd have to get really good at that game because there's nothing to help you. But like, this game is just like, there's no need of a difficulty mode. There's literally so many different options, and like, just in general, like what you said, the community, there's so many people in the community that just literally will help you. Like, this game hasn't even been toxic from a like co-op standpoint. I've literally been invaded like 5 times, and half of those invades, the actual invader actually helped me. Like he either like turned around. Yeah, the invader. One time I was playing with who was it? Siggy, and we were running through, and an invader showed up, and he just waved at us and said hi, and I was like, Siggy, I don't think he's gonna attack us, man. And Siggy's like, oh no, man. He had his like sword ready to use magic. I was like, oh, he couldn't betray us. And I was like, no. We ran around the whole map with this invader. He showed us where things were. He then at the end where we couldn't move forward. This man turned his back to us and said, please stab me, backstab me. And we stabbed him and got ruined. I was like,
wow.
this is such a nice person and stuff like
That's
that.
fine.
We fought Putin another time too. Like it was crazy.
Once again, you're proving my point of what makes this game great is the word of mouth. You just told a story of something that probably will never happen to me. And like, unfortunate reality is you cannot get that from Horizon Forbidden West. Like, it's a great game. I really did enjoy it, but like if I had to tier the games right now, it'd probably be third best game of the year. Number 2 would probably be Sifu, because some of what we're talking about is in Sifu as well, just on a smaller scale. But yeah, you can't get that like that unique experience, those stories you can share with your friends. It inspires people to want to play the game. I'm still not gonna apologize to FromSoftware fans. Fuck y'all. I like this game. I like Sekiro. I don't like Dark Souls. Nope.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine to apologize or not apologize because I'm not gonna lie, some of them are straight up dickheads. Like I would not, like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like there isn't a part of their community that is straight up just a bunch of like ass wipes that have no lives whatsoever, and they take this game as their identity, like of who they are as a person, and they act like this is what it's like. They think it's a personality trait to be good at Dark Souls, which is insane to me. Like that's hella loser energy. Like,
I won't apologize, but I'll go as far as to say Sekiro was like, I liked it, and it kind of was like, all right, I'm paying attention to what they're doing a little bit. Elden Ring turned me into a fan.
You don't even have to say that. I think FromSoftware got into its bag and started to craft itself to make its magnum opus, which I think is Elden Ring. I think that like it's okay not to like some of the original Dark Souls, because it could have been like, you know, they were still figuring things out, right? Because if you really look at it, a lot of the pros, or a lot of the old school, like not even old school, a lot of the people who played a lot of the Dark Souls games, that they play Elden Ring, one of the things they will tell you straight up is like all they did was they took like everything, like even boss ideas, they took everything, the best of like Dark Souls and Sekiro and Bloodborne, and they put them all into one game and made it open world. Like there's so many mechanics.
I remember the menu being so clunky in Dark Souls. I hated that shit, bro.
Yeah, it's still the same. Like Elden Ring uses a similar system. Like it's barely.
It's a little bit cleaner, but like it was unbearable for me in them games.
Yeah, and this is just like those little ways. I think, and this is the thing, like I love Elden Ring. Like I think it's a masterpiece from what I played so far. Like I'm willing to just say, yeah, this is straight up a masterpiece. But like, there's definitely, like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh, the game is above reproach and there's nothing like you can like criticize it for. Like there's definitely areas where I think like the user experience and like just UI wise, I think can get improved. And I think if they just make those improvements, I think the game will just be even better. I don't know why people would be mad about like them just making the game even better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The one thing I don't like about the UI in Elden Ring is, why the fuck do I have to press start, go into the settings, and then go all the way to the side to quit the game? Like I just figured out how to quit the game last night.
Oh my god!
I've been alt tabbing out, bro. I've been alt tabbing out.
Siggy spent 50 hours. Siggy was 50 hours into the game before he realized, he was like, I have to go to bonfires to save. And then me and Steve were like, what? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, you just have to start, but if you quit, it auto saves. You don't even have to like do any of that. So he was like, oh crap, my bad. So then he didn't realize he never needed to like actually he never had to actually go to a bonfire. You just hit exit and it saves your character right there in that spot. It doesn't like send you to a bonfire. He thought he actually had to go to bonfires as an actual save point, which is insane.
Also, the optimization on this game in both versions, the PS5 reportedly runs better, but still have issues. Yeah, they both still have issues. Like I gotta knock a little bit on that.
Yeah, the consoles can't hit 60 FPS consistently, even in performance mode. The PC like can hit 60 FPS, but we have the stutter issues. No version is good. Like all of them have issues, and I think that's more than fair to criticize the game about and just be better. It is a testament to how good the game is that even with these issues, people still love it to death and still think it's fantastic. I think that's a testament to how quality it is.